On this episode of the Turnbuckle, we get the latest on the KHANS' interest in AEW and WWE merger. CM Punk mocks AEW's ratings, and an ex-WWE writer says Tony Khan could benefit from having a creative team. Folks, reading your favorite wrestling move to some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Shahid Khan and Tony Khan, the owners of AEW, are reportedly interested in merging their upstart wrestling promotion with the WWE. A new report from CNBC quotes an anonymous AEW source as saying that the Khans, who also own the NFL's Jacksonville Jaguars and the Premier League's Fulham FC, are exploring the possibility of partnering with, quote, a strategic media company to share the intellectual property while merging the wrestling leagues. Furthermore, the report adds that the Khans are, quote, open to discussing a potential role for Vince McMahon if a AEW and WWE merger were to take place, even though it's, quote, unclear what type of job McMahon would want with WWE after a sale. Despite AEW's apparent interest in the blockbuster acquisition, CNBC believes such a merger is a long shot, and then McMahon may view selling his multi-billion-dollar corporation of the Khans as a non-starter, especially with the scores of media conglomerates lining up as potential suitors for a WWE sale. The report further confirms that the Khans have yet to initiate any sort of talks with McMahon or Nick Khan, the WWE CEO who reportedly met with high-ranking executives at Disney and ESPN Monday to possibly discuss a WWE sale. On Thursday, another report from Barron's listed AEW as a potential suitor for WWE sale, but did not earmark the Khans as a favorite in the WWE sweepstakes. According to odds makers, Comcast minus 140, Disney plus 350, and Endeavor Group Holdings plus 900 remain the leading bidders to purchase the world's biggest wrestling promotion. As noted earlier, WWE announced the hiring of financial advisor Rain Group on Thursday to facilitate an imminent sale. So it sounds like the sale is getting closer and closer to being finalized. It also sounds like a lot of people are lining up for this, right? And again, it doesn't really sound like anybody is like, I like winning, I guess, if that's like the way you put it. I don't really know how this is like going. I don't really know like the ins and outs of like how the sale is gonna like be finalized. And I mean, seeing as, you know, they brought in like a financial group to sort of like oversee everything, I guess it means that, you know, at some point somebody's gonna come up and, I don't know, I guess give a number and WWE is gonna be like, fine, you know. I don't actually know how it works, but considering that the Khans, now there have been reports that have come out that said that Tony Khan is watching the sale very closely. So I feel like it leads me to believe that at some point they were like, wait, not yet, you know, and then they were like, all right, now, and now they're in, I guess. So I feel like if it's not going to be Tony Khan, it's probably going to be like Disney or Comcast, you know, because I feel like CNBC have been with WWE for the longest time now, unless I'm getting that wrong, because don't they have the USA Network, and that's pretty much where Raw is, and they've been with Raw for years, you know. So, and I mean, I thought it was going to be Fox, but if Disney owns Fox, right? Because the whole Simpsons thing, I don't know. The point is, it's more than likely not going to be the Khans, but only time will tell, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Next, we're going to talk about CM Punk and how he mocks AEW's ratings. AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman took to Instagram on Thursday to show off his awards from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. One of those awards was for Feud of the Year with CM Punk. MJF decided to tape over Punk's name and write his own name. Going back to their feud, the two faced each other for the first time on February's second edition of AEW Dynamite, in which MJF was victorious. A month later, Punk defeated MJF in a brutal dog collar match at the Revolution 2022 pay-per-view. Punk did react to the photo, but instead of just taking a dig at MJF, Punk decided to tease All Elite Wrestling and its recent viewership. Maybe find some tape for the ratings so nobody sees those either, wrote Punk. It's worth mentioning that this past Wednesday's Dynamite did see its total viewership climb to the highest number since October 26th. This week's episode also saw a 12% increase from last week's New Year's Smash special. Like the whole Tony Khan, you know, teasing that he's going to buy WWE, I feel like this is just CM Punk, you know, doing this just for the sake of doing it. I don't know what to think about this, and I kind of feel weird talking about it because I'm sure everybody is like, oh my God, shut up about CM Punk. He's not coming back. I agree with you. I want you to know that right now, that I agree with you when it comes to CM Punk not coming back. However, okay, did they leave? They're gone? Okay, I believe in the theory that CM Punk is coming back. I don't fully believe in it. I'm not going to die on the hill. Am I going to die on the hill? You know what? I'm going to die on the hill. Whatever. Who cares? I'm going to die on the hill that CM Punk's potentially coming back. I don't know when, and I don't know how and what type of capacity he's going to return. But I feel like in some time now, you know, he's going to make some type of potential return. I don't know when, but I don't know, man. Because it feels like he's not gone. And, I mean, again, there's no reports of Tony Khan or CM Punk saying anything about he's gone, he's not coming back or anything like that. And I mean, it hasn't really come out about his contract. It sounds like his contract is still being negotiated. I don't know what's going on with that. Listen, this could just be Punk attention seeking and, wanting people to not forget about him, or it could be Punk leading into a compelling storyline that, involves him coming back at some point. Only time will tell. Honestly, I have no idea. And if he doesn't come back, fine. But if he does come back, okay, great. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. Finally, we're going to be talking about an ex-WWE writer and how he says Tony Khan could benefit from having a creative team. In an interview with Wrestling Inc., former WWE writer and producer Robert Carplease, I hope I'm saying that correctly, reflected on working with the company. When asked about his time as a producer, Carplease praised Hausman for using the term instead of a writer, as his role in WWE entailed much more than that. He also believed Tony Khan's AEW would perform better if they had a creative writing team. I'm glad you used that because, bless his heart, our future Lord and Savior, Tony Khan, has a dislike of what he perceives as WWE writers, which I think is something his product could definitely benefit from. Carples went on to describe what the roles of writer and producer entailed and how they may come to overlap at times. He then emphasized the importance of a team who are solely dedicated to writing. And I think the more production people that go over from WWE there can talk to them about it. The idea of a writer in WWE is not, I'm going to write out a 9-page soliloquy that I want Batista to go deliver on television. There's a small degree to that. But really, you're given a grid and you're filling in the segments of the show and you're building to a pay-per-view and you are trying to your best. In the Vince McMahon era, to say, we have 4 weeks until No Mercy. We have this card has been approved and is written in stone for now. We need to get there week 1, 2, 3, and 4 and map out how we're going to do that. So I used to love when I would see all the criticism of there's no long-term booking. They don't know what they're doing. You try to say, here's where we're going to get to. When you get to TV, you're a producer and that you are running around with the script, wrangling talent, talking about what it is we're going to do, setting up the shot, getting the cameraman in place, getting the lighting in place, and actually filming it. You are a writer/producer. There are production people who are on set, who are there, who are building the live show. But when it comes to the pre-tapes, when it comes to any of the vignettes, those are being done by people whose title is writer. But you are really a jack of all trades. And as a non-union company, that's part of the fun of it. Obviously, over the years, the WWE writing team has definitely left a lot to be desired when it comes to a lot of different storylines. And although there's definitely been some outliers in terms of like really good writing and really bad writing, I think the overall consensus is that they know what they're doing. They're not completely incompetent. I think the problem just stems from the fact that Vince McMahon just wants an absolute crazy, unrelenting and wacky, environment because he thinks it's funny and nobody else does, but it doesn't really matter because he likes it when people, vomit on other people, and he also likes when people are made fun of for like very minute things like they're on a playground. Now, in terms of the writing team, right, I feel, again, okay, I said this a while ago when I was talking about Tony Khan and how he couldn't possibly be doing everything by himself. I still hold on to that belief. There's absolutely no way this maniac runs around and does everything all alone. I do not think that that is remotely true in the slightest, okay? But I'm assuming that he has a writing team, but it's not as big as WWE's writing team. I feel like, when you think about it, it would probably help that Tony Khan sort of gets a couple more people on his team if he doesn't already have a decent amount of people on his team already, which again, man, I highly doubt that guy's doing anything by himself. I doubt that he is doing anything with like 4 or 5 people, like a skeleton crew. I doubt that he's doing that. But again, if he had more help, if he does end up buying WWE, then I feel like it only means good things for WWE and AEW as a whole in terms of writing, in terms of like what they're going to do for the wrestlers. What do we talk about? Cons? Wow, the Cons are thinking about buying WWE. I don't really know if that's actually going to happen or not. Again, this could just be a gigantic publicity stunt that the Cons are like trying to do, and maybe they're not even trying to buy WWE. It's really hard to tell. I mean, if they do end up buying WWE, that'll be crazy. And I don't even know how to comprehend just how amazingly poetic that would be. But I don't know, man. We just have to wait and see what they're actually going to do. So only time will tell. CM Punk mocks AEW's ratings. It's kind of funny because AEW isn't really doing that bad in terms of ratings. And I feel like the only reason why he's doing that, again, because it doesn't make any sense to mock the ratings if the ratings aren't doing bad. So he's got to be doing this on purpose. He has to be doing this because this has to be tying into some sort of like secret return that he's got planned or something like that, because I don't understand why this moron went onto social media and made himself look like a doofus. The only thing I can imagine of why he would do it is because he doesn't want people to forget, so that when he makes his return, then nobody is like thrown off by it, And if Tony Khan does end up getting, more help with like the writing team and stuff like that, I feel like it would benefit a lot more for the wrestlers and the storylines in the near future. But that really boils down to whether or not Tony Khan is actually going to buy WWE. And really, it boils down to whether or not Tony Khan even wants more people on his writing team, because maybe he likes the small writing team because it makes everything a little bit more concrete and we get to the point faster. But that's just me, all right? So we're just going to have to wait and see what actually happens, folks. Oh, all right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.